Where is our teachers living? They can't afford to live here. We are funding education 49th in the nation. You want to talk about New York and California and other states we're the third largest GDP in the nation, third after those two states. But yet we're funding education 49th in the nation. That tells you that our priorities are backwards and our education system is falling apart. Healthcare, we're funding healthcare 50th in the nation. We haven't expanded Medicaid.
So I'm curious though, because you mentioned education. That's a topic near and dear to me. I was a teacher for many years. So what is your fix to that? Because I know that DeSantis has been out there talking about school choice, and that's a topic many parents are passionate about because they're concerned about their ability, whether they have money or not. Some don't have money, but they want to be able to send their kids to the schools that they want to send them to. What is your fix to an educational system that's broken in Florida?
Well, first of all, we as Floridians voted for the lottery to make sure that the lottery money was to go towards education. And that was supposed to be in addition to. So back in 2006, we had per pupil funding at around $6,400. We're at $6,900 today. Between 2006 and 2022, if you look at inflation, it should be over $10,000 just to keep up with inflation. So what we have done is we have gutted our traditional public schools. And I'm a proud product of our public education system in Miami-Dade County, as is my parents. They all were also from the Miami-Dade. And what we've done is we have gutted our traditional public schools. And so we've taken money out of our traditional public schools and we have allocated into any other place, not even just general other education. We've gutted it. And so what we have to be doing is putting more money back into our education system.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you, though, money's not going to fix the educational system because New York, places like that have been funneling money into education for decades and decades. It doesn't work. The way that you fix an educational system is the way that you fix every system, is you put competition into that system and you force those schools to fire bad teachers, to pay good teachers higher. You force those parents to have the option to choose where they send their kids to school. Every single district you look at, everywhere in the country that allows for school choice sees a rise in educational opportunities for families and a rise in standard of education for kids. So if you want to fix the educational system, truly, and I believe that you do, based on what you're saying, that's how you fix it.
Well, and I don't necessarily agree with all of that,
but she makes a good point though, and I don't have kids, just like you. But school choice seems like capitalism at its finest. What's wrong with that?
Because everybody is entitled to a quality education system. And when you take money out of our traditional public schools, which are still the bedrock, if you talk about people wanting to go into choice, if you look at the statistics, still 75+% of our parents are still making the choice to put their kids into traditional public schools.
And they're failing them. Those schools are failing them.
But that's also because the fact is that if you are talking about our private schools or charter schools that are paying more money for their teachers, that we're losing, we have 6,500 shortage of teachers, that we are asking parents to come in as substitute teachers. They're making nothing. And DeSantis,
I was on those salaries. I know what they look like.
And so was my mom. She taught for 25 years. I heard those stories. Heard the stories of our teachers buying school supplies for their kids because there's not enough school supplies in the classrooms. And what we have done is money enough? No. Absolutely. But that has to start somewhere. That we have schools, and if you want to look at something interesting, that at a third grade reading, that 90% of our Black kids at third grade reading are reading below poverty line. And we base how many jails and prisons we build based on that third grade reading.
But you can't blame. First of all, you're going to have to look at family structures for that. You're going to have to go back to the dinner table. You're going to have to look at does that child have the support of a family at home? We can go
into that whole.
You have to talk about community. You have to talk about church. There are layers deep of this. Of course, but you're not going to throw money at that school and fix that kid. The way that you're going to give that kid an opportunity, let that parent or that guardian pick where that kid goes to school. And if that school is failing that kid, shut her down. Shut her down.
Well, obviously,
why wouldn't money help though? If you're saying teachers got to come out of pocket to buy,
because you know why? They waste a ton of money. Like every other government institution, they waste a ton of money. You don't see it, and then you have teachers unions.
You don't agree with that, Nikki? You don't think government wastes money?
Oh, government wastes lots of money. Governor just did a $109 billion budget. I can find a whole lot more. He'd only vetoed $3.1 billion. I could have vetoed a whole heck of a lot more in there.
You go. So no military. I don't care what department you're talking about. Every single institution of government, there is waste, there's fraud, there's abuse. Education is part of that.
Of course. And look, I have put forth I oversee a $1.3 billion budget inside the Department of Agriculture. Every single every single session, I've put forth a more conservative budget than my Republican predecessors did because I didn't want to waste money. I made sure that we had the exact money that we needed to run the department and the programs that we needed to do to, whether it's increasing the amount of money that's coming in for agriculture, to making sure our water quality is in there. I asked for 83 new positions for concealed weapons programming because, again, we have the largest concealed weapons program in the entire country here in the state of Florida that I regulate. I asked for 83 more positions because we are overwhelmed. And the governor vetoed those 83 positions because he has his own agenda.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.